Hi, I'm Joe.
And I'm Digna.
Welcome to Relationships.
We're a couple having a few.
Good evening.
Oh, hey.
So we are in the first week or the beginning of the end of the first week.
Of 2020. It's over. It's all downhill from now.
2020 is over. No, we're at the end of the first week of August, believe it or not. And we are coming live from an entirely different location. We're so far away.
We're in our bedroom.
So yes, we are in our bedroom. And we are on one microphone, even though you probably heard a couple of episodes recently where we were on one microphone. That was accidental. This is on purpose. My face is facing towards the microphone that Digna's face is facing towards. So I'm intentionally looking at this microphone. So
into my eyes. No? What?
No.
Look into my eyes.
So we are looking into the
Eyes of
black eye of one microphone. And we're doing this from our room because just with the whole COVID thing, you just got to be really creative when you're entertaining a child. So our son wanted to build a fort
in our teeny tiny living room.
Since we've got next to no square footage anyway, all we did is we moved his mattress into the floor in the living room.
It's not a great fort.
And put like a blanket over the top of it. So it's
He's smothered in a blanket right now.
So it's like a tent, if you will. And so he's just outside. He's in our studio right now. How dare he?
Our soundproofed schmancy fancy studio.
So we had to close down our studio and now sit on the bed. But this week we are trying one of the all-time favorite pumpkin beers. This is the Schlafly Pumpkin Ale.
But wait, let's talk about why we're talking drinking the Schlafly Pumpkin Ale.
Let's definitely talk about that, but let's just say that my wife is a hoarder when it comes to this particular beer. So this beer, we looked at the bottle. I don't know if it's the born on date, bottle date, whatever you want to call it, and it's July of 2018.
And I took a picture, and there is photographic evidence that there's dust on the bottle. There might be a little dust on the bottle. Because I refused to drink the last 6-pack that we had from, well, did you buy it last year? We don't know when we bought it or where it came from.
I think, no, where I bought this was the one time it was available in Florida.
No.
Yes.
No, because that was before Vanessa and Tyler visited us, and Vanessa and Tyler brought us Schlafly. No, for sure. They brought us Schlafly. For sure, when they came for our anniversary. You bought like a payload of this.
Yeah,
but it was before that.
No, because our anniversary was 2017.
Sure.
The party.
Mm-hmm.
So this beer is from 2018.
Either way, what we're trying to say is we don't know where this 6-pack came from.
No, what we're saying is cabinet. I know where it came from.
Wrong.
She's saying wrong.
It's been in the cabinet for a really long time, and I refuse to open any of it. However, today we went to our local Winn-Dixie, which is our local supermarket, and Joseph found on August, what is today? August, I still don't know, 10th maybe? 9th? Anyway, he found a 6-pack of Sam Adams Oktoberfest, which to us signals the beginning of, fall.
I was saying like, this is Halloween.
Halloween.
Yeah, so I was thinking more, it's fall. So yes. It's fall, y'all. But
happy fall, y'all.
I don't understand how it's fall, y'all, when it's 90 some odd degrees outside.
So hot.
We are in August.
It feels very weird to buy an Oktoberfest and drink a pumpkin beer right now, and it should because it is only August. However, this is 2020, the year of Hades, and basically I'm looking forward to the fights between Halloween and Christmas and moving past some of this craziness.
Well, I talked to Todd, our local brewmaster at Helen Blazes. Hashtag Helen Blazes. Todd Furbuck. So I talked to him because I sent him a picture of the Sam Adams beer. Keep in mind, we're at the beginning of August. So
it's still really hot if I haven't said that.
And Oktoberfest, you don't think Ogtoberfest? It's not AUG-toberfest, so it's not August. So I was like, so when are you going to make yours? And he's like, end of September, which makes a lot of sense.
Which is actually very funny because if you know anything about actual Oktoberfest, which I know very little, but I know enough to know that actual Oktoberfest in actual Germany does begin at the beginning of September. It's not Oktoberfest. It ends in October, but it does not begin then.
But here's now a
So you
funnier.
should be brewing it in October.
But on that same note, it's called October, which I know it's Octavius, but oct sounds like octopus. 8.
Ooh, maybe
So you
it's
think the
supposed
8th,
to-
so you
yeah,
say the 8th month,
yes,
which
yes.
is August.
I
So
can see
maybe
that.
Oktoberfest is correct. I don't know.
I feel like you just brought together a bunch of points from like
What I did is I made a point.
what's
then
that Tom Hanks movie with the map finding and the Catholicism?
Oh, Big. I love that movie.
But for real.
Dan Brown, Leonardo
Yes.
DiCaprio. No, I'm
Da
kidding.
Vinci
No,
Code.
the
It's
Da
the Da Vinci Code. He just Da Vinci Code did Da Vinci Code.
And then I decoded
Fall
it.
beers.
So I'm going to take my first sip in quite some
Oh
time.
my god, I'm so excited.
Oh, it smells so good. She just dove right in like a savage. She's got a mouthful of this stuff. All it is on. Oh my gosh, it's not Scope. What are you doing?
Oh my gosh, it's so good. I want to wash my mouth with this forever. It smells so good.
Well, unlike Scope, this would give you gingivitis.
And also no teeth from cavities.
So yes, the Schlafly Pumpkin Ale. And by the way, just to give myself some more tie-ins, one of the first episodes of my other podcast, Drinking and Driving, was with Schlafly when we went up to St. Louis last year to see Vanessa and Tyler. Hi, Vanessa and Tyler! Hi, Schlafly! But yes, this is when I went and saw them. I talked about this beer. This is one of their big beers, and it's a very good beer. I mean, this is even this long.
This is
in,
the
it's
most
pretty good.
amazing beer in the world, unless you're one of those people that doesn't like pumpkin beer, and that's fine. But if you don't like pumpkin beer, you're gonna hate
Hi,
it.
co-host by the show, Dave.
Hi, Dave.
Who doesn't like pumpkin beer? Beep, beep, beep.
I'm
Okay.
so sorry.
All right. That's enough of the falsetto. I think I've done a lot of falsetto just in these couple of minutes
I
we've
can
been
do that
doing
all
this.
day.
All day, day.
Mhm.
So now that we're done talking about this amazing beer that we're going to continue to drink, which by the way,
I'll never
amazing
stop talking
beer.
about it. I will never stop talking about
it's-
Schlafly pumpkin beer in Hamilton.
it's my
That's my life
favorite.
now.
Alexander Pumpkinton. I don't know.
Pumpkin. No.
I don't know. We're working on it. But the whole reason we're doing this episode not only is because we need to do another episode, but a big thing happened this week. Our longtime neighbor / roommate.
/ mother.
Hi, Nancy.
Hi,
Hello. Oh, damn it. I thought I wasn't going to do it anymore, and I did it. But yeah, so since way back in the 08s,
WW
07s,
2008.
so Digna's mom at one point lived with us. They lived in Puerto Rico for a while, and then they came back from Puerto Rico. And
Part of that transition, they
yeah.
ended up living with us for a little bit. And
yeah, so they lived with us. Then they were our neighbors, and then we went to St. Louis. So
they
they
moved into our house.
So they lived in our house.
We moved to St. Louis. Hi, Vanessa and Tyler.
Damn it! Why am I doing it? Stop bringing that out in me. I'm like,
sorry. They bring it out in us.
no, you do it. You did this.
I did this to us.
She did it. So after we moved to St. Louis, or as we were moving to St. Louis, however you want to look at that, Nancy, my mother-in-law, Digna's mom, moved into our house here in Florida that we owned, and she lived there for years, etc. We moved
About
all sorts
5
of things.
years.
Yeah,
She lived there for 5 years without us.
yeah. So she lived in the house that we owned, and she got to enjoy. If "enjoy" is the word you would use, is it an enjoy?
And she got to live in our house and take care of our dogs and be an awesome part of her life.
She got to enjoy mowing our grass in the 1,000,000-degree heat here in the summer. She got to enjoy sprinkler maintenance. Oh my gosh, so fun. Especially with the high mineral content of our water. I mean, you had to do a lot of enjoyment on those sprinklers. There was a lot of enjoyment needed with this. So very, very enjoyable.
Sorry, Mom.
Sorry, I don't. I mean, I'm glad she got to live in our house and take care of it. But you know what? When we lived in St. Louis in an apartment where I didn't have to mow grass and I didn't have to worry about any sort of sprinklers, that was pretty heaven-like. But I digress. So she lived there, and then after Desmond was born, we moved back from St. Louis. She was still living in our house there, and so we were roommates with her.
Mm-hmm.
And
for over a year, right?
Yeah. So Desmond's first year of
2
life,
years.
and then
I think it was 2 years.
maybe about 18 months or so. I just feel like that's a magic number. If not, whatever, I made it up. Anywho,
Magically made
she
it up.
moved into an apartment, or an apartment, I guess, townhouse.
Townhome.
I don't know the difference.
They're quite different.
So she became the owner of townhouse that she previously owned. Long story. At some point, we were like, you know what? We don't need this house. It's more expensive than we want to pay. It just so happened the one right next door to her mother opened up and was for sale for a steal. So we're like, you know what? Let's buy this one, move out of our place, and save ourselves all sorts of money. And
Which, by the way, is so not fun to do. Just moving in general. If you've moved, you know it sucks. So moving in the same town, trying to sell your home while buying another home, and then not selling your home for a long time just sucks.
Agreed. But then we finally sold the old house, and so we're no longer roommates with her. We were next door neighbors.
Yeah, in about this time, I think it was June of 2017.
Yeah, so we've lived here for about 3 years, and she's been our neighbor the whole time. And she finally
She flew the coop.
She flew the coop.
We're empty nesters now.
Our little girl has grown up.
Goodbye, mother.
But yeah, so she and her husband now are RV people, and they're going to enjoy their RV time and possibly do some traveling, all that kind of stuff. So it's a cool new chapter, but she's no longer a neighbor. So instead of her mom, or instead of Digna's mom, not my mother-in-law's mom, instead of Digna's mom, we now have Digna's aunt as a next door neighbor.
Hi, Didi.
Hi, Didi. Stop it. I'm trying not to do this falsetto thing. Okay, so she's now our neighbor. So we've kind of helped with a little bit of moving and all that kind of stuff. So I think your aunt has now lived next door for a total of 2 nights. This is her second night. And Nancy, my mother-in-law, has now lived RV lady for 3 nights. 3 nights. And we have now lived here for 1,000 nights or so.
About that, yep.
So there you go. 1,000 nights. And we are now the possibly partial sometime owner of your mom's dog. I don't know
Juicy
how that's going to
Juice.
work out.
Oh.
He's flat faced and bow legged, but you know what?
Which
you
means
gotta
he
love
is
him.
adorable and fluffy. The flatter the face, the bower the legs, the cuter the pup.
I mean, there's got to be some sort of...
It's mathematical. Stop
yeah,
it.
I was just saying, there's got to be some sort of science
scientific
there.
less.
Exactly. There's definitely no science there. Yes, it's scientific less.
It's a word.
Yeah, so we are now empty neighbor nesters. But actually, so the funny thing is we talked to Digna's aunt, and so she and her husband have been married for just a few months longer than Digna and I. And they have
18-ish years?
Yeah, so they've never been empty nesters. So her aunt's son lived with them because he was still, growing up, and now he's out of the house. But in the time where before he moved out, they moved in with Digna's cousin and her family. So it was like, so this whole time they've been married for her, like she said, 18-ish years, and they haven't been just the two of them. So this is the first time they've been apart. So the good thing is, it's like we're training wheels. So they're apart, but they're not far away.
Family nearby, but it's not like they're not living in the same house with them.
So we're doing them a
different.
service by being neighbors. It's like, if you just feel like, man, this house is just way too big and lonely, well, we're right next door. So you know what? We're good Samaritans. I'll look at it that way.
Sure.
I'm sure that's the whole problem. They're just like, oh my gosh, we're so lonely after all this time. No, I think it's quite the opposite. They're like, yes.
But yeah, so we actually have gone over to Mom and Daryl's a couple of times and helped them move in some and set up. And it's kind of, it seems overwhelming at first to like try to shrink your home into a very small space. But personally, I thought it was kind of fun it was like a jigsaw puzzle. Like, how can we fit things that we have into the space that we have, and how can we make it look homey? And I think it's fun. I think it'd be cool. I look forward to doing that ourselves in a few years.
Well, that's why we had to cut Daryl up into 5 pieces so he would fit in.
Yeah, so there's only 5 storage units, so you have to
So now instead of just taking up all that space, he's in 5 smaller cabinets, which that's just logical right there.
It's scientificness.
Not a thing.
It's a word now.
Not a doctor. Yeah. So, but yeah, it's been a really cool week. I got Desmond a flotation device. We call it a life jacket, life vest. So
Personal flotation device.
yes, so we are going to go kayaking, he and I, to where we live. You can go out in the river, and there are some islands. So we're gonna go. It's not very far, but we can go out on the island. So I'll kayak out there with him, and we'll go fishing from the island. We'll have a little lunch out there and have a good time. So it'll be really, really fun. Kind of give him. But before I go, so anyone who's listening, I'm not just going to go throw him into the deep end, so to speak. What we're going to do is we're going to hug the coast a little bit until he gets really comfortable. Like, okay, yeah, we're just in a little thing. I just sit up straight and ta-da, we're good to go. And once he feels a little bit more comfortable, we'll go out to one of the closest island and we'll go do a little fishing, eat some sandwiches, and, come on back and hopefully bring back the catch of the day and dinner.
The catch of the day is just bring him back.
The catch of the day is whatever bait we don't use, the shrimp. We are going to have shrimp for dinner.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, so in the end, we may eat bait for dinner, but you know what? That was our bait.
As long as the bait's on ice.
Yeah, you can get frozen bait. You're good. So frozen bait, totally good. Yeah, so I'm pretty excited about taking him out there. And I'm not a huge fisherman.
You're not an angler?
I'm a cute angler. Don't look at me with blank face. No, not boo. That was a good one. Don't be so obtuse.
So 89 degrees or so.
I'm a little acute.
Like 2 degrees?
Mm-hmm. Yes, I said obtuse because that's a 91 degree up to.
No, we get it. We get it.
Do you get it?
I don't get it.
No, you didn't get it.
I get it.
You get nothing.
I took geometry.
What were you going to say? Your mouth didn't say geometry at first. You're like...
No, my mouth said geometry. My brain said, is it geometry or is it trigonometry?
Or is it Scientology?
Scientific list.
From your scientific list class.
Mm-hmm.
It's my favorite class.
So, a lot of this is getting deleted, right?
I don't know how much is going to get deleted, how much of this will make it through. But you know what? It's been
I feel like
busy week.
The random jump from motherless to kayaks is very disjointed.
Well, I'm just going with everything that happened this week.
Mm.
Do you have anything else
Nothing
that happened this week? Nothing?
No.
We went on a nice bike ride today with Desi Do on his big boy bike. So
it was his premiere.
It was his maiden voyage.
It was his maiden voyage on his big boy bike through the town.
Yeah, so he had the, I don't know, what is that, 16-inch bike? I don't know, but I think
the
it's
one
the
that usually
16-inch.
has training wheels on it. That's not the tiny one.
Yeah, so it's normally the 12-inch. That's the teeny tiny
right?
one. So the 12-inch one, he learned to ride 2 wheels on the 12-inch. And, we took off the training wheels, but then he immediately was like way too tall for the 12-inch. So we had a 16-inch, and he was able to ride that one.
Took the training wheels off.
Yeah, so he didn't need training wheels on the 16-inch. He's kind of over the 16-inch. And
why don't they have it in between one? Between 16 and what, 20?
Like an 18? I don't know.
I think it's 20.
Yeah, his is 20 now. But yeah, so now he's on the 20, which is kind of on the tall side for him. It's like he's a little short.
Especially because it's a 20-inch, but it's also like a 20-inch, like almost like the trick bikes. So the seat sits further back. Yeah. So he's like reaching.
Yeah, so as a 20-inch bike, it's got the hand brakes, no foot brakes, which my 20-inch bike when I was his age and even older. I mean, I rode a 20-inch bike probably all the way through 6th grade. But the bike that I had that was a 20-inch bike, it had the brakes, you pedal backward and that's your brake. So I didn't have...
Oh, you had a baby bike.
Yeah, I didn't have hand brakes until I was at least in 7th grade. I can for sure remember that. But yeah, I didn't have anything like that till at least 7th grade. So yeah, he's getting there. But this is the first time we rode over to his cousin's house. So not just in the neighborhood, on the bigger bike. So he's had the bigger bike for a few months now, and he's been pretty good in the neighborhood. But we said, you know what?
He's finally learning how to use the brakes, which is good.
Yeah. At first he's like, I don't know how to stop, and
he would just keep rolling.
or he would squeeze instead of gently applying pressure. He was like, And then, like when you slam on the brakes in your car. So it was definitely something worth practicing for some time. But yeah, he did amazing today. We rode, it was 1,000,000 degrees, and
We sweat a lot.
we
But
sweat
it was good.
quite a bit. Oh, another big thing that happened this past week, which has made it on social media, but not on this. We did some pickling.
Oh, because you posted it on social media, not because it was like a trending thing.
Oh no, it was trending. Like
in this house.
I don't know, all sorts of influencers, like I don't know, Beyonce
like
probably
you
talked about
and
pickles at some
me.
point ever.
And maybe Des. All three of us talked about it. So
I mean,
That's 100% this house.
it was extremely social
100%.
in our very little group. We made pickles
out of everything.
out of everything.
All
So
the things.
we ended up with a whole bunch of jalapenos in the house. So I was like, I enjoy jalapenos, but there was no way I was going to eat all of them before they started going bad. So I was like, is there any way to pickle them? Obviously,
and
there
then
is.
we did.
We did. And we're like, well, can I pickle this thing or that thing? And we had some carrots. And I was like, man, we got a lot of carrots. So I chopped them into long, almost like the what you would have
Like a pickle spear.
but like the quartered, the spear, I guess is what they call them. But they were quartered. But the problem is a carrot's tall. So I took a single like large kind of fat carrot, and cut it into 8 pieces total. And if you've never had a carrot pickle, you should. They're nice and crunchy. They got that sweetness of the carrot, but they also have that, the briny, the vinegary kind of thing. So they were real good.
Needless to say, we went through a half a gallon of vinegar going through tomato pickles, carrot pickles, regular pickles,
Tomato
and
pickles. That was something. So tomatoes, obviously, they're not the crunchiest
we have
things in
okra
the
we
world.
need to pickle.
Yep. So, but yeah, tomatoes almost came out as a liquid, just as they do with the way they are. So you could almost make it a relish. Like if we put like that little, what they call it, the immersion blender, and kind of went brr, 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 we would make like a relish out of it, which would be almost like a spread. So, but yeah, so pickling, honestly, and we even had a cucumber that we pickled that guy. And I will say, if I can help it, I won't buy another pickle myself. Like I will just make pickles. They're easy enough, and you can put whatever ingredients.
When you don't even necessarily need cucumber, like traditional cucumber pickles. If you just have any vegetable that needs to be eaten and it's not going to get like made in time, or it's not enough for a full serving or whatever, if you can just quickly pickle it, then that will serve as whatever pickle thing you need on the side.
I feel like if there should be some people somewhere in history who would have known that pickling would have preserved their food. I'm surprised no one before the 21st century ever came up with that. Crazy.
It's almost like we just discovered this.
Man, we are innovators. Speaking of innovations,
Poddecks.com.
So the other deck that we've been using, couldn't find it. So we just broke out another one.
We didn't look.
I said we couldn't find it.
I didn't find it.
Fine, we didn't find it.
I wouldn't find it.
Not that we couldn't find it, but we
shan't
didn't.
find it.
She shan't.
Yeah, I did.
So go ahead and cut the deck here. All right, that was a very shallow cut. We'll probably live from that injury. And this is the blue deck, if you guys are following along.
They're not.
Everyone's following along. And what is something that people think makes them look cool, but actually makes them look ridiculous?
A backwards hat with sunglasses on their forehead.
Oh my gosh, I love that. There's like, somebody was like at a ball game and they have their hat on backwards, but they're using their hand as a visor. And it's like, if only you had something that could replace your hand as a visor.
Also, chain wallets.
Agree, disagree.
Because he had one.
Yes, I used to. No, right here. Duck lips.
For sure.
It's like,
Doing it right now. I'm doing it right now.
I'm gonna stick my butt out.
Can
and
you
stick
hear
my
my
lips
duck
out.
lips?
I got duck lips.
I can hear my duck lips. Here they are.
Duck lips make you look ridiculous, but you apparently, whoever you are, think it doesn't make you look ridiculous.
I mean, the thing is,
And
do
that's
them,
just
take
ridiculous.
a picture, have fun with it, as long as you realize that you look silly.
Right, yeah. I mean, yeah, if it was some sort of a comedic thing, maybe. But Yeah, that's not a thing. Nobody wants a duck's lip.
Oh, cars with stance.
Oh yeah, where they cant the tires out. Like, yeah,
Yeah, they can't enjoy their tires.
enjoy that uneven wear on the inside of your tire, because that looks cool. Or what's that other thing that your dad talks about, the St. Augustine lean or whatever it's called?
He said that.
Where the trucks are really, really low in the back and they have like smaller wheels in the back or something, and they're up in the front. So you're sitting at like a 30-degree angle.
At least you can see the sky very well.
Yeah, but you can't see where you're driving, which is the important thing.
So just look down to drive. That makes sense, right?
Yeah, so we've got backwards hats when it's sunny outside, and you should just wear it forward.
Chain wallets. Sticking with it.
Agree to disagree. I haven't worn a chain wallet in a decade, probably.
Because you can't find one.
Because I can't find one. What is there, a chain shortage for the war effort? Like, what are we doing?
No, because you shouldn't be able to find one. They're terrible.
What,
you're not an adult enough to know where your wallet is?
I think they're very practical.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
If you're 5 and you can't like keep track of your wallet.
5-year-old pockets cannot hold a wallet.
15. And you're just learning how to carry a wallet. And you can't feel this lump that is or is not in your back pocket.
I feel like a lot of these things
I feel like I'm attacking you.
No, I feel like everything... I don't feel attacked because I don't wear a chain wallet.
It's fine, I'm attacking you.
But like everything that I'm talking about here, it makes me feel like I'm an old fart. So let us know what you have that you know that people are like, man, I'm just so awesome. But obviously they're not awesome, but apparently it's not obvious because they still do it. And
or
still
it's totally
think
your
awesome.
Opinion, and maybe it is awesome, but you don't think it's awesome.
No,
so...
it's a scientific list or whatever you said.
Yeah, that's
totally
true.
Not awesome.
It is a scientific list poll, so you say whatever you want.
There am no science here. All right, guys, be safe. Don't be gross.
Wash your hands.
And your butt.
Bye.
Bye. No falsetto here.
This has been a Getting to Know Brews presentation.
Music provided by purpleplanet.com. That's purple-planet.com.